All right, so our practice this morning is going to continue with the theme from last week of working with grounding and earth and feet. We worked with reglayim and the word for feet and legs. And the text I want to offer as the foundation for the entire practice is when we're crossing the sea. It is said twice in the text that we will come into the sea on dry land. V'yavo'u b'toch hayam bayabasha. That's the phrasing, and I think here it is. Just if any of you want to see it in the chat. And this idea of finding our ground in the sea and the sea being dry and solid is the foundation for what we'll be working with our feet and legs and in the standing postures today. So if anything I offer is not right for your body, please don't do it. Take care of yourself. We'll be working with standing postures with a chair, and I'm just going to go forward with the very first thing we did last week, which is to massage our feet. And so if you're sitting on the floor or on a chair, I invite you to find a way to bring, I see some of you on the floor, you can, if it's possible, you might need to warm up your hips a little bit, but to bring your hands to the bottom of your feet. And let's start with either foot, it doesn't matter, and massaging the pads of the toes. And this theme of feet and walking is throughout the entire Torah, and our patriarchs and Genesis are really walking. Lech lecha, holechet. Abraham's name, Ever, is limbs, the foundation, the root of his name. So Ivrim, Hebrews, crossing over, same root. So we're really waking up our limbs. And it said that there's a corresponding number of limbs and parts of the body to the positive and negative commandments, 365 and 248, and that every single mitzvah commandment is connected to a part of the body. So we're waking up our edges of our limbs, and I invite you to take each toe and pull it out, squeeze it, do whatever feels right for you, really feeling it warming up, moving down the arches of the feet to the pads of the heels. And just squeezing the whole foot, really moving the toes around a little. You can take fingers between the toes. This is great to do every day. Really supporting the feet. And also if you're sitting for a long time before you get up. And then like last week, we'll go ahead and take thumbs at the very inner heel, beginning right here. And there's a divot, there's a place between the bone and the calf muscle. So we'll walk our thumbs up this line, and the walls of the sea, the connecting, supporting areas around any center line are right here in the leg, in the lower leg. So just squeezing and pressing that line from inner ankle up to inner knee. Might be tender in some spots. And just as we did last week, we'll release that and stand for a moment and feel the difference side to side. I'm just taking a mountain pose, lifting and placing the feet a moment. And find yourself as a tree rooting down, base of toes, base of heels, and lengthening and lifting up through the inner arches. And notice when you relax all effort, just what you feel. Maybe a little more softening, grounding. Let's take second side. Yeah, I'm gonna stand with the whole camera on me for the rest of the time. I see, Carolyn, your comment. Okay, go ahead and begin at the toes. You might notice the temperature of the feet. In the mapping of the Sphirot, the feet are connected to Malchut, the final Sphira, the world of action. And also Malchut is connected to the mouth. So connecting the whole body through our feet, action, speech, bringing holiness into the world. And maybe a little gratitude as you're massaging your foot, a little thank you, a little first thing in the morning, moda'ani, for these gorgeously constructed parts of the body that move us through the world. And taking hands and fingers down all the way through the arches, through the center of the foot, the pad of the heel, and then taking your thumbs at that line from inner ankle through. This really preps the legs, preps the lower legs. Often when we have some restriction in the upper parts of the legs, it's due to tightness of the calves. So this little bit of the calf massage going up to the inner knee is helpful. Maybe give the whole calf a little squeeze at the end. Okay, and let's sit for a moment with both feet grounded, feet hips distance apart, really finding yourself on your sits bones, weighted evenly. Pelvic bowl is supporting you. And imagine your sits bones as the roots of your body, sending energy down, and the feet in contact with the floor with less weight right now. Take your attention to feeling the shape of the foot, the outline of the foot, and even here noticing, can the weight be evenly distributed and spread? And imagining Vayabhasha, the ground beneath you, the solid chair beneath your pelvis, the floor beneath your feet. Inhale, raising arms up overhead if your shoulders allow. Reaching and lengthening. Your arms are like branches of a tree as we've entered the month of Shvat. And then releasing down. And let's come to the mat. So the mat is set up with a blanket open, a rectangle shape of the blanket. If you have a chair that's easily movable, bring it over for a little later. And we'll lie down on the mat. Have a strap nearby so that you can grab it. And we'll just take a few hip openers, waking up the lower legs for a moment. So taking torso to the floor, let head and torso be on the blanket. Knees are bent, feet are hips distance apart. And once more, establish the whole foot on the ground, really spreading the foot. Take a deep breath and feel the support of the solidity beneath you. And the waters of your mind or your body, anything that feels moving and energetic and tingling, allowing the ground and the container of your body to be offering solidity and resting places. Let's go ahead and open the joints. Take right leg up to the sky, left foot on floor with knee bent, staying solid, and just circle the ankle joints and bend the knee a few times, just waking up those joints, the fluidity in the joints, the synovial fluid, the waters of the joints are moving. to allow, and then circle thigh in the hip. We do this, I think, most times in the opening, just waking up the joints. Second side, take right foot to floor, right knee bent, extend left leg up. And again, you can do this sitting in a chair. You can do this in any posture that's best for your body, just listening in, bending and straightening the knee, just moving through ankle to knee to hip, circling the thigh in the hip. So keeping the right leg steady as you circle the left thigh in the hip a little bit. And then release both legs down long on the floor, bringing toes and ankles together. Reach the arms up above and over your head, palms facing one another, and feel your whole body as one long open channel, and scooch and reach a little bit right side and left side, really lengthening, creating more spaces in the body. We sing the song of the sea in this portion this week, and you can feel little openings. There are spaces when you read in the Torah. The Song of the Sea has spaces between the lines. So finding spaces and openings, even just lying on the floor, spaces between the ribs. Just rest that effort for a moment. Pause. And then from here, we'll bend both knees again, put palms by hips, lift hips, send them away from head, walk shoulders down, away from the neck, a little baby bridge, sending knees away from crown of head, only at the level and at the amount of effort that's right for you. This might be the first little baby bridge you're doing today or this week, and then releasing down with more length. More space between the vertebrae, maybe curling the tailbone and letting that lower back come down with more expanse. Let's take the strap into the hands. Bring your right knee in close to your chest. And then with the strap at base of toes, lift that leg up to the sky, opening backs of the legs and imagining the walls of the legs supporting what's inside. So like the walls of the sea, there's so much moving inside the legs. Spread the toes and let the front of the ankle soften. Bring hands up close to the strap. Notice the sensations in the calf. Left knee is bent and foot on floor. And one more idea with the Song of the Sea spaces in the body. Is there a possibility for moving the femur a little bit away from the torso so that you have a little more space in the hip joint, and lifting the leg up into the strap rather than pulling it down? So there's a lightness to the leg, just as Jacob lifted his feet after his dream. There's a bit of lightness here. Now extend the left leg long on the floor. The top leg most likely comes away a little bit, and lengthen from inner ankle through all the way up inner knee, inner thigh through the spine up to the head. So you're feeling this long open channel. Take strap into right hand and take left arm overhead. So the whole left body is long on the floor and the right leg's up high. Arm is close to the head, palm faces in. Just imagining these lines of energy in the body through the inner legs, up through all the way the inner arms to fingers. Every exhale settles you into the floor, vayabasha, into the earth, the ground. And then take both legs up into the strap to switch. Left leg comes up, strap around base of toes, right leg comes down. Right knee bends, right foot established on the mat, and find that surface area of the foot on the earth, on the mat, on the ground. And first, we'll just lengthen up into the strap. Hands are close to the foot, so the arms are extended. The limbs of the body are outstretched. Outstretched arms, outstretched hands create openings for the crossing and for our own being. Softening at the front of the ankle, bringing strap up close to the toes, maybe for a little extra opening. In the inner rooms, the inner spaces of the body. From here, let's extend the right leg long on the floor. It's active but not gripping. And first, establishing that top leg with a little more space, lifting up into the strap. Thigh bone moves a little bit away from the hip joint. So imagining space, openings, just as the walls of the sea created a passageway, a little bit of opening in the hip. And from here, we'll release that. Let's take the knees and bend them into the chest and rocking back and forth a little bit, finding more length at the tailbone, at the bottom of the spine, some width at the whole pelvic bowl. The sacrum, the triangular bone at the bottom of the spine, is resting and widening. And bring your thighs, holding behind the thighs, bring the knees close into the body for a moment. And let's just play with extending one leg and folding it and then the other. So we're just opening the legs, one and the other, with a slight V shape. You can play with the pace, slower or faster, and bring knees closer together and roll over to your side. And come on up. Take your blanket and fold it halfway. And if you have if your knees need not to be on the floor, you can do this sitting. We're going to take a few lunges, and the same action can be done with a chair with your thigh on the chair. So if that's better for your knees, please use a chair. We'll take 2 blocks to the front of the mat, and we'll take a little baby sun salutation, bringing your feet to mountain pose. Once more, sending down base of toes, base of heels, lifting up through the inner arches of your legs, feeling yourself as a tree, the roots sending down, the sap rising energy going up through all the way to crown of head. Let's inhale, raise arms overhead once more, feeling the feet as your roots, connecting to earth by Yabasha, stepping into the sea on dry ground. Come on down to a half squat, just softening the knees, touch hands down to the blocks. Come on up again. And then inhale, fold the whole shape up and over. You can have a chair in front of you for a baby forward fold, or take your hands to blocks at the height, at the tallest height, your choice. And then inhale, take your right leg back Hands on blocks, move the blocks under shoulders and lengthening the back leg. The right leg is back. The front leg is bent at 90 degrees. So we're in a high lunge, high runner's lunge, and finding your strength in the shape. The front knee is above the ankle, aligned over second and third toe. Draw hip points in, draw solar plexus and belly in to lift up, lengthening almost a little tiny back bend, widening collarbones, lifting crown. And the line of energy is from inner heel all the way up through to crown. We'll take hands to blocks or mat for a downward dog in between. Soften behind the knees for a lengthening of the spine. Really bend the knees. It's a bent knee downward dog. And once more, establish and feel your hands and feet as your foundation on solid ground. Swing the right leg forward. We'll take second side, either on a chair or with hands on blocks up very high. Align knee over ankle. Send that left leg back. Attention is on the inner walls of the legs, especially. Gathering the ribs, gathering the solar plexus, the front of the body to the back body. Walk left leg back to the front and hang for a moment in a bent knee forward fold. So the knees are bent, feet are a few inches apart, and let the legs be solid and the front body fold. So the legs are the land and the whole torso through crown of head is flowing like the sea, soft. Chesed, quality, loving kindness. And then rolling the whole shape all the way up to standing. Let's take a moment and just lift and place the feet down one at a time, a little stepping in place, stepping on the mat. And then step the feet wide apart. We'll move that blanket aside. I guess we didn't need it. And then take either two blocks behind you or the chair behind you. And we'll start on the right side with the right leg turning out. We'll flow through a few poses. And really noticing today, first for a moment, just take both feet facing forward in a wide stance and bending and straightening the legs if this is right for your body. And feeling hands at hip creases, the gorgeous construction of the legs and what they do for us. And really sinking into connecting with the earth through the feet. Externally rotate that right leg from the thigh, internally rotate the left. Inhale, raise arms, turn hips to the right, and we'll take triangle, hinging up and over. And remember to keep that space, the song of the sea space at the top of the hip crease as you come to a high lifted triangle posture. Lifting up through the legs, turning heart to the sky, palm facing forward. And let the exhale settle you. So all of the chaos of the sea, the yam, we're stepping into it to find the ground. Top arm overhead, soften and bend the knee to 90 for side angle. Side angle, extending, firming the outer back foot and heel and the base of toe on the back foot and spreading the surface area of the bent knee foot. like your feet love the ground, must be close to the ground. Keeping legs and feet as they are. Inhale, reverse warrior. Release the back arm, lift the top arm. Feel more space between the ribs. Grounded and lifted. And then turn both hands, palms face forward for warrior two. And we'll play with hinging up until half moon, either with a chair nearby. You can scoot your chair closer in, or with the block. And keeping the connection of the bent knee, staying bent and that foot solid. We're just gonna take hand to the chair and push off and hinge on up. Really easy, supported half moon with a chair or a block. Feel the shape and the openings, and then soften behind the knee, come on down. Take blocks in the hands in front of you, and we'll take a wide angle forward fold. Legs are wide, toes, second toes align with sides of mat, and hinge the whole torso and pelvis up and over, keeping legs steady. Hands come to the blocks under your shoulders, long open channel. Soften behind the knees. And keeping legs and feet where they are, so the knees are slightly bent. Walk both hands to the block on the left and just take a baby turn, a baby twist, maybe lift the arm up. Maybe hand to hip with shoulder, with elbow bent. Come back to both blocks, straighten the legs. Soften and bend the knees again. Walk both hands to the second side. Crossing the body and then lifting arm up. Little baby twist with the blocks supporting you. Come back down. From here, if it's comfortable for you, walk the blocks out. We'll take a wide leg down dog with hands on blocks. Lifted, grounded. And then walk blocks back toward you, bend knees, walk feet together. Come on up to standing. And we'll take the chair to the second side. And also blocks. So your choice for coming into these postures today. Extending and turning left leg out from the thigh, right leg in. Inhale, raise arms, turn hips to the left and hinge the shape, creating a little softening at that left knee, and hand comes to block or chair behind you. And bringing these themes into this shape today. B'toch hayam bayabasha. And the song of the sea, spaces in the body, turning heart to heaven. Pressing base of big toes, pads of feet. Then softening behind the left knee, take the right arm over for side angle. Left knee is bent, knee over ankle, right arm overhead, and finding that opening, maybe turning a little bit to the heavens. And then legs stay as they are. Reverse warrior, lifting. Oh, like a morning stretch, just feeling that extra space at the hip crease, at the ribs, at the armpit, and then arms come to warrior two, palms face forward, looking over the hand if that's right for your body. Shoulders are releasing down, shoulder blades releasing down, lengthening from pubic bone up through sternum to crown. And then from here, take a minute, scoot your chair a little closer in front of you if you want, or hand to block. And we'll keep this knee bent. Hand comes to chair first for steadiness. Release the back arm and just go ahead and lift on up with a bent leg to half moon. Strong, open leg, grounding. Feel the connection to the earth and the reach up through the arm. And then soften behind the knee, come down. Let's turn and face the top of mat for down dog, either with a chair or with blocks or hands on floor, your choice. Downward facing dog. Base of index finger and thumb and base of big toe are your steadiness, feeling your whole foot moving toward the floor. Reaching, clinging, yearning for the floor. And then let's soften and come all the way down to sitting. Take your blanket and fold it again. So you have another extra height and have it behind you. And come on up and sit and take one of your blocks to support you in this next one. So we'll extend the left leg forward out to the side. So the right knee is bent and left leg is forward. If you're sitting in a chair, you can do this sitting in a chair with your legs up in a V shape from the seat. Take the block inside of the foot lying on the floor. Let's inhale, raise the arms. So the extra sending down energy has an equal and opposite lifting, and then turn away from your long straight leg, release the arms and take hand to block and slide the block slightly so you're opening and reaching toward that foot. Then bring the top arm over to bring an extra opening. So it's a side stretch and a grounded pelvis and legs and torso is opening and turning. And every single breath brings a little more space inside into the interior of your body. And then release the arm, release the block, switch legs. So you'll bend the left leg, extend the right, knees and toes face the sky, block in front of that ankle. Let's inhale, raise the arms overhead, turning away from the straight leg toward the bent knee, and then first release both arms down. Find your long extended limb, outstretched arm onto that block, and slide a little bit, hinging the shape up and over, torso and pelvis as one, and then bring the top arm over for a long open side bend, turning heart to heaven, sending your roots into the earth. Bayabasha, the dry ground, the steady ground, the solid ground. Every exhale settles you a little more, and keep the space between the arm and extended leg. So you're continually lifting. The spaces stay there and expand the energy of the posture. And then we'll release both arms. Let's take the feet in front. And we'll take another couple of twists. First, bend your left knee, extend the right leg on the floor, lift hips up and off the edge of the blanket. So, and you may have a couple blankets here if you have them. And keeping that steady long leg forward, you can walk the bent knee foot out a little bit for a little more space, turn pelvis toward the bent knee. So it's really asymmetrical. Wrap front arm around, keep torso long and lifted. The back arm rests behind. Bring your attention to the breath and the structures of the body, the rib basket and the muscles surrounding and the skin, the layers and layers of containment, the walls of the circumference of the structures of the body supporting us. Keep legs and feet where they are, turn head forward, looking over front leg. Bring head back and then take second side. Extend the left leg forward, turning the pelvis, lift the sits bone off of the blanket, walk the bent knee foot out a little for space. Wrap front arm around, lengthening the torso and spine. Back arm just rests lightly. Your weight is really on your legs and feet. The front leg is active but not gripping. The expanse of the rib basket and the settling of the whole body on the exhale. Turn head and neck forward only. Gently, not pushing it, just to the extent that's right for you. Maybe just at an angle from the chest over the heart. And then let's release. We'll take ourselves to the floor once more with an open rectangle for the blanket. And we can have the chair nearby if we want to use it for the final resting pose. Let's lie down once more with knees bent, torso on the floor, and take a quick moment to feel yourself a little more rested into the floor. Just take a moment. Deep, long breath. And on the exhale, releasing down. If you want to move right into Shavasana here, please do. We're going to take one more little twist. Knees to the left, arm extends out, right arm to the right for a lying twist. And let's bring knees up and over to second side. Knees to the right and left arm extended. Can turn the head if you like. And then coming back to center. If you'd like, you can take the chair up very close so that the knees and lower legs, the knees are over thighs directly, and then the lower legs can rest on the chair, or you can lie flat. If you'd like, take something under your head, an extra blanket if that's best for you, and we'll rest here together. Taking a deep, long breath and releasing as if your whole body are roots resting, resting into the ground, into the earth. And bring all your attention to every place of your body that has a contact with a solid, supportive surface. And taking a deep, long breath, letting the breath enter you more deeply. Bring your attention before moving to this resting place. Menuchat hanefesh, resting of the body soul. And on the next inhalation, bringing your knees in and over and lying on your side. And just feeling yourself in the folded shape of a seed. Using hands to come on up to sitting. And sitting on the edge of a blanket or on your chair. Just noting inside for a moment, bringing your attention to your interior, all of the spaces inside as you inhale, the expanse of the belly from the diaphragm moving down, and on the exhale, the settling of the belly from the diaphragm releasing up, widening collarbones, softening at the elbows and armpits, lengthening back of neck. And we'll close the practice with acknowledgement of the divinity within in all of us, from the phrase in creation, B'Tselem Elohim, in the divine image.